It is the Riot Podcast. This is the Friday, July 28th edition. Today in the show, we got some good stuff. We talk about children drinking non-alcoholic beer, alphabet dating. But first, before we get to all of that, Chicken Wing Day is coming up. National Chicken Wing Day. As of the recording of this, Chicken Wing Day is tomorrow, July 29th. Isaiah, first of all, the age-old question, boneless or traditional?
Depends where I am.
Oh.
There's certain
Some
places
nuance,
where I'm...
huh?
Uh-huh. There's some certain places where I'm going to go traditional every time versus boneless. One of the most well-known places, B-Dubs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going boneless every time.
They
boneless
have good
medium.
boneless wings, yeah.
If I go to Roosters, more of a local place, traditional every time. I'm doing traditional hot. If I'm doing wings over, I'm doing neither bone-in or boneless because I'm doing their chicken tenders.
Okay.
There, and so they have like fried fingers, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Where else is there? Those are the main ones, right?
Yeah. I tend to, if it's B-Dubs, I'll go boneless. But many other places, especially if it's like a local sports bar type place, like not a chain, then I'm more likely to do the traditional.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm more likely to lean boneless than bone-in. For whatever reason, I don't know why. I feel safer.
In my heart, I feel like I like bone-in better. But I just think Buffalo Wild Wings, they don't give you the biggest bone-in wings.
Yeah.
They don't give you the highest quality. But the boneless ones, they're usually a safe bet there. They're usually real good.
The only thing with bone-in is then you're dealing with the mess.
The sticky fingers.
Them fingers, boy.
Yeah, well, they give you wet naps, moist towelettes to amend the situation there.
I just don't like it all over the face.
Oh,
I'm a pretty clean.
True.
I'm a pretty clean eater. As over a whole, and for me, traditional. If I'm eating them, that means I'm committing. To being a little messy.
And you and I, we have mustaches, so that adds an extra layer to the equation. So do you? If you do get traditional, where do you stand on licking your fingers?
Oh, you can lick them.
Yeah.
If you get traditional
I'm a big
wings,
finger licker.
If you get traditional wings, there's a lot of steps you're going to have to take to get those things polished off.
Yeah.
And no matter how much of it you eat, if you're there with your dad, he's going to say you haven't polished it like you should. Get back on that bone, boy. There's some meat left, you know? Every time you try to leave a restaurant with chicken wings, your dad's going to be upset because you didn't get his money's worth. Yeah. Because you didn't finish the chicken wing like he would have.
That's
every
so
time.
true. Yeah. Or my aunts would tell me, if it wasn't with chicken wings, but with drumsticks, you got to get that nib off the end. That's the best part, they would say.
Oh, that's wild.
They'd say,
you got
to suck, like the bottom of the drumstick.
I'm over here suckling a wing.
Part.
I'm suckling a bone.
Yeah. You got to
pop
the cartilage off. That's the best part, they'd say.
That's crazy. That is not the best part. That's a useless part.
I don't know. They've lived to be like getting close to 100. So
there's like no
maybe
meat
that's
there.
Their key.
It's like it's all breading. There's like no meat on the end of those things.
Breading in the cartilage.
What they want you with that cartilage in there, boy.
Get that.
Get on in there real deep like. They say...
What are you doing?
They say that people prefer drumettes to flats. How do you feel about that?
I disagree. I think I like the flats better.
Really?
Yeah, because I feel like the quality of the meat on those is better than the drumettes. But the drumettes are easier to eat.
That's why I like the drums, because I'm gonna eat the drummies real easy like. And the flats, I think the meat is better. You're right. I never thought about that.
Yeah, the meat is way better.
The meat is so much better on those, but they're way harder to eat.
Yeah,
messier. How do you eat them?
Do
you poke the finger through?
Pop it. Yeah, pop the thumb. Pop the thumb through the middle. Just poke a thumb in, and then you're good to go.
See, I go back and forth. Now, my other question is, you don't break them apart.
No, I don't prefer to do that.
I like to break them apart.
It depends. Also, breaking apart works too.
This is a wild thing that I do if I'm eating traditional wings. I'm a one-hander.
How do you do that?
It's a lot of mouth work.
Yeah, I should say so.
It's a lot of mouth work. It goes slower that way too. I could go way faster if I committed both hands, but then I'm getting a whole other hand messy.
Dirty, yeah.
And I don't want to play with that.
You have one hand free and clear to use your phone or whatever.
Yeah, so I'm a one-hander.
Yeah.
And so it slows me down.
You ever known anybody like this? It sounds like you could be like this. They take the chicken wing, the bone-in wing, and they just simply put it in their mouth, like with bones and all, and just kind of like...
Oh, my brother does that.
Pull it out. I don't know how to...
my brother does that.
Yeah, you could probably like tie a cherry stem into a knot too.
He has a whole technique. He like crushes it down, dips it in the ranch, and then just suckles the whole...
Do you dip the wings in ranch?
Of course I do, yeah.
I never did that, but I'm
Really?
I'm getting to be more of a ranch.
No ranch on the wings.
But I also don't usually eat typical hot like buffalo wings. I usually go barbecue or
barbecue it.
Yeah, sometimes.
Kind of a man.
You know what I really like? I like the Chipotle dry rubs.
Oh, I'm a fan of dry rubs.
On a traditional wing, those are great.
On traditional, that's the key. Yeah. I wouldn't do a dry rub on a boneless.
No,
There's no way.
I hate that.
Whenever I see that, I'm disgusted.
Yeah.
But I would say I'm getting buffalo almost every time. Some sort of hot wing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never getting barbecue. I used to as a child. Now I'm doing some sort of hot pretty much every time. And unless I do a dry rub, which I don't ever do. But whenever I see them, I'm like, those look fire.
The dry rubs are always so good.
They look good.
You have to put it on a traditional wing.
Yeah, no way you're doing it.
Yeah.
Not boneless.
You got any other
dry rub?
Wing questions?
Those are my main takeaways. I'm eating the celery that comes on the side every time. I'm dipping it in ranch.
I tell them not to bring it.
Oh, I tell them celery and carrots if they got them.
Both.
If they got carrots, I want those too. I want them both. Anything else? Eating all the meat off the bones.
You do blue cheese?
Oh, no. That's gross.
No, yeah.
I'm never even touching blue cheese. There's not a chance. I'm leaving that
ranch
to the side.
over blue cheese every time.
Yeah, I'm not even asking. If they say you want blue cheese, I don't even want it. I don't even want it.
Yeah. You throw it in their face.
That's wing talk.
Yeah. Happy Chicken Wing Day. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the show. And we will catch you next time.
We'll see you guys.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, RadioU.
Get ready for even more Taylor Swift.
That's what we've been asking for.
Yeah, the Swifties.
What the people want.
The Swifties are excited because and I told you this. I tried to tell you. You said the Eras Tour in the United States is almost over. Everyone will forget about Taylor Swift for a while after that. But how foolish of you to think that would be the case, because Taylor Swift is working on a way to keep her name in the news, even if she's overseas doing the Eras Tour. She's working on possibly turning all of her exes and breakups into a TV series.
Interesting thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, she has a sordid past of lovers.
That's something to brag about, you know?
I don't know. I mean, the names are something to brag about, I would say.
I've got a list of them.
Yeah, let's hear it.
We've got Joe Jonas.
Okay.
Lucas
Pretty popular.
Till, Taylor Lautner. Corey Monteith. John Mayer.
Of course, one of my faves.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, that's
a good one.
right. Dang it. Jake Gyllenhaal.
I know. Connor Kennedy. Harry Styles, apparently.
Really?
I guess so. Then we got Calvin Harris, Tom Hiddleston. Come on,
all
Tom.
Right, really?
They're holding hands in every photo. Joe Alwyn, Matt Healy. How long does this go? There it is. That's
She's only like 30 years old. How has she dated this many people?
I just named 15 guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Some of them, it seemed like she dated for a long time. You know?
That was 12. I named 12 guys.
12 guys. She's going.
Jeez. Well, I guess like when you think about Joe Jonas was 2008. That was 15 years ago.
Yeah, it was a different time.
Yeah, 2009, 2010, like about one a year.
Yeah, I guess that's not something to get too upset about. But nevertheless, I mean, you've got that kind of history. Turn it into something. And obviously, she's turned it into a great music career where she's turned it into many, many, many songs. But now she's working with Alice Birch, who is a British screenwriter. She did work on Succession, but I looked that up a little bit and I didn't want to get too excited because she wasn't like behind Succession. She was one of the people, one of the many that were kind of integral in that. So they're working on a show that would turn her relationship history into a drama series for TV.
See, I get it. There's a lot of big name guys there. And the wild part is in the article I'm looking at, it has like the songs that she wrote about each of them, which is weird.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like if I wrote a song about every girl that I'd ever hung out with, whether we dated for like a month or like 6 months or we just hung out, that would be weird. What would I even have to say?
Yeah.
There's no way that she had that much to say about all 15 of these guys. But besides the point, I don't know that it was that controversial to make a whole TV series about it.
I don't know.
Is it that? How could you make a storyline around it other than just like writing songs about them, I guess? 'Cause it's not like she has like this crazy controversial past with all these guys.
I don't know. She's made some accusations and stuff.
Maybe she has. I don't know.
And you play it up a little bit.
I guess you would. You would create the drama.
Dramatize it.
That's what Alice Birch's job or whatever it is.
I do feel unless it's literally Taylor Swift acting in the show and literally all these other big names acting in the show, which I don't even think like John Mayer's not going to do it. So,
No
you know
chance.
what I mean? And that'd be a wild thing too. Here. Hey, my ex, would you like to act as yourself and probably not be portrayed in the best light?
You're going to be the bad guy. I'm going to be honest with you now. You're going to be the bad guy.
Yeah. So unless it has all that star power attached to it, especially if you're going to have somebody playing Taylor Swift, I don't know about it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
And also music stars turning into TV series. Ask The Weeknd how that's going.
Add a little Riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
We do a lot of relationship advice for like people trying to get into relationships, have success early on in dating. We even had a relationship expert on the show yesterday. You can find that on the Worst of the Riot podcast. Well, how about some relationship advice if you've been in a relationship for a while? You want to make sure it continues to feel fresh.
Oh, things are getting stale.
Yeah. You're ready to switch things up. You need to add a little
heat
spice to. Yeah, let's do it. You ready for this? Here's what you do. You go alphabet dating.
Okay.
Alphabet dating is where you pick a letter in the alphabet, and that determines what you do for the date night.
Okay, so let's give me an example.
Okay. A. You maybe you pick a restaurant to go out to with A. Starts with A. Applebee's.
Applebee's.
Obvious choice. All right. This is going to keep the relationship going. This Applebee's.
I like the way you're thinking.
But then think about then you pick an activity to go with the Applebee's that starts with A.
Okay.
Axe throwing.
Axe throwing in Applebee's.
Yeah, there you go.
How you doing now?
And all of a sudden, things have gotten a little more steamy, a little more spicy. You've reinvigorated things.
We're doing Applebee's. We're doing axe throwing. Maybe we're going to bring some apple slices, some apple bottom jeans.
Sure.
What else do you want?
There you go. Yeah. You go to Alaska.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
maybe
perhaps.
Atlanta. Maybe you go to a place a little bit closer.
Sure.
Atlanta.
But and this is how you do it. And then you just, every time you have a date night, you go through the alphabet, you keep picking different letters. And if you get all the way to Z, then you get married.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So then that would take, how many letters are there in the alphabet? 23? 26.
Yeah.
So 26 date nights. That's over the course of 26 weeks.
Yeah. I think that sounds.
You're doing one a week. That's about half a year.
Half a year. And if you can make it through the whole, if you can find some stuff to do for X, you're destined to be together.
That's true.
Something you can agree on. If you can have a xylophone date night, that's a sign that things are going well.
Yeah, I don't know where the heck you're going.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no places to eat.
Probably like Xerxes Persian cuisine.
Maybe you're just eating something that starts with X. Maybe you can't go out.
Yeah, that could be. Maybe you watch a movie. Maybe you watch Triple X. You just stay in that night.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, with Vin Diesel. Boom. Taken care of. X-Men. Also an option.
X-Men. That's a way better option. There you go.
Yeah, some of the nights more difficult. They might be more difficult than others to plan. Q also one. I do have to question what you would do.
But then once you get that far down the line,
things
you'll
are
have to figure it out.
Yeah.
You're doing better. Things are doing better.
You might be able to leave alphabet dating behind if you're getting all the way to Q, X, Y, Z.
Yeah, you don't need it anymore.
Yeah, you've reinvigorated things already.
Yeah, you guys are already heated up.
You found a new spark.
Exactly. Once you get to like J, you're going to be feeling pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, that's what, like 10 dates?
That's got to be 10 dates.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing good at J.
You know by then.
Oh, yeah.
You know where things are headed. All right. I think this is helpful for everyone.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
The finale of Secret Invasion, the latest Marvel series on Disney Plus. You've been churning through those Secret Invasion episodes as they've been coming out. And so did you get to actually watch the finale of Secret Invasion yet?
I did. I've seen them all now.
You've seen the whole series.
I saw the finale. I've seen it all.
And how are you feeling about the finale of Secret Invasion?
See, I've been a big Secret Invasion fan up to this point. The final, I watched like pretty much the final 2 episodes the past couple of days. Up to episode 4, huge fan. Episode 5 moves kind of slow. It's kind of setting. You can tell they're setting up the finale, and so there's not a whole lot that goes down in episode 5. And then episode 6, the actual finale, a little bit of a letdown.
Oh, so you didn't think the finale was that good?
I didn't think it was. I thought that there was an ample amount of like twists and turns, which pretty much the whole series there was a ton, right?
Yeah.
And so through the whole finale, they kind of have you on your toes, and the actual like end scene super surprising, but I didn't love the way it ended. I didn't love it, which is sad to say because I liked everything so much up to that point. But the final like fight scene really did not do it for me.
It falls flat.
It does fall flat.
Well, I want to tell you that you're not alone. Secret Invasion, the finale, is being called the worst episode of a Marvel series
I wouldn't
in history.
say that.
It's what is it? You know what? Want to know what it has for reviews on Rotten Tomatoes?
Let's hear it.
And this is, well, granted, this is 10 reviews, but it is. Those are from critics, though. It has a 10%.
No chance.
10% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is
crazy.
the worst score for any episode of any Marvel show on.
It shouldn't be that low.
It's I haven't gotten there. I've been watching through Secret Invasion as well. Even the series itself has a 56%.
That's crazy. I think it's so good. I think it's probably top 3, easily top 3.
For the Disney Plus series.
For the series, yeah, because you got Loki, which I still think I thought that this could overtake Loki as number 1 at points of the series, but Loki still sits at 1 for me. And then this is probably number 2. I liked it better than WandaVision. I liked it way better than Falcon and Winter Soldier. And then obviously then you have Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, all the other ones.
Yeah.
That nobody really liked anyway.
I thought you liked Moon Knight a lot.
Moon Knight was good too. I forgot about Moon Knight. Moon Knight's up there. I mean,
I always forget about things that are my favorite.
I would put Moon Knight in the top 3. I think this is right there with Moon Knight, though.
Well,
it's that good.
Nobody else seems to think so. I mean, I have watched 3 episodes, which is more than I can say for many other of the Marvel series. I just think there's too much. I can't keep up with them, and I don't enjoy all of them that much. But and this one has at least kept my interest up to this point. But that said, I can see based off of the subject matter too. This isn't a big spoiler that it focuses on the Skrulls, which show up in Captain Marvel, the movie, where they can like disguise themselves as people, and they're living amongst us here on Earth in the show, disguised as regular humans, and kind of like a whole conflict with that. And so the idea is that any person you could find out they've been a Skrull this whole time. That'd kind of turn Marvel on its head in a way that might not be welcome. Maybe we don't want that as fans. Or maybe it just kind of totally changes how you view everything, and maybe that's not what we need.
Well, you need to watch the whole thing. You get to episode 6, and yet again, right when you think you have it all figured out, you don't. You just don't.
Well, I don't know if I want to watch it now that it's getting such bad reviews.
You have to, though.
Or do I want to watch it even more?
You have to.
We're not sure who behaves worse, the Riot or their dogs.
I don't even know how to behave like a real human being.
The Riot, Radio U.
You know Kristen Bell, right?
Yes.
Kristen Bell, actress. I don't know if she's most well known for this, although this has got to be her biggest role, right? Is she's in Frozen. I just don't know if people realize that.
She's also in The Good Place, the little TV series.
Yep.
Bad Moms.
Right.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. She's forgetting Sarah Marshall?
She is Sarah Marshall.
That's who Sarah Marshall is?
Yeah, she's Sarah Marshall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
good movie.
A wild Veronica Mars, a lot of people would remember. So, a great career. She's married to Dax Shepard, who has a fairly popular podcast, as I understand it, also an actor. And they're kind of well known, particularly because of the podcast. They're just out there talking about their parenting style. They're kind of unique. They're so unique to get this. Earlier this week on the Kelly Clarkson show, Kristen Bell was a guest. She said that she lets her daughters, who are 8 and 9 years old, drink non-alcoholic beer.
That seems wild.
That
seems interesting.
That's a unique parenting style.
I don't even know if it's a style. What style is that?
The style of letting them have non-alcoholic beer. I don't know. But see, it has sparked a debate. People have really begun to question Is there anything actually wrong with that? Because, I mean, it's non-alcoholic, right?
It's not illegal.
It's not illegal.
We do this all the time. Just because it's not illegal doesn't mean that it's not wrong.
But is this actually wrong, though?
It's wrong.
They also make alcoholic versions of Mountain Dew, and nobody would say that well, some people would say, but that's more for health than, like, it's wrong that kids shouldn't have Mountain Dew.
True.
You know what I mean?
That's a good argument.
It is a good argument.
But I still am against.
Although, I mean, you can go way back in history and say that alcoholic Mountain Dew came first, but really, like, Mountain Dew came first and then came along hard Mountain Dew. So if non-alcoholic beer came first, it might feel a little different than the way that we view it now. So it's hard to actually, because she says too, like, here's an example. Sometimes the kids will literally ask these 2 8 and 9 year olds, they'll literally ask at a restaurant, like, do they have non-alcoholic beer here?
No, they don't.
They do,
No, they don't.
And then Kristen Bell has to make the hard call of, well, should we actually order that for them? Or is that something that just is kind of like an at-home thing? Because there's definitely a stigma about it. So wait, so you're definitely anti non-alcoholic beer for children?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
But I don't understand what is. I feel like I've laid out a pretty good argument.
You have, but
for why it shouldn't be wrong. So what's the argument for why it should?
My reason for why it shouldn't be wrong, and I think it's very case to case as well. In this case, it's even worse. Because like their dad was like had like an addiction issue.
Yeah.
So that's already in there. That's a bloodline thing. I don't care what you said. It's a bloodline thing. And so when I think about it, is they're given because the actual non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
The reason people use it is for like the taste, right?
Yeah.
And so you should.
Which is surprising to me.
Yes, but for like the 8 and 9 year old, you don't want to like get them like hooked on the taste of that anyway. They shouldn't be tasting that. It's like it's a certain taste. They say like when you first drink a beer, this is what they'll tell you is you're gonna hate the taste of it, but you'll get the taste of it down the line. Like the more you drink it, the more you'll like it. And so if an 8 and 9 year old starts to like that taste, they start to get that taste at restaurants. Then what's gonna happen when they turn 21? That's all they're gonna want to drink.
But if it's already a normal thing and they already know they can get the taste without having the alcohol, then maybe it's not such a thing.
I just don't think that introducing that to their kid, like if I had an 8-year-old, which I don't, but if I had an 8-year-old, I wouldn't be like, you know what, we need to introduce them to beer. I'd be like, you know what, you're 8 years old. Why don't we introduce you to Dr. Pepper? A Sprite. I feel like those are much more appropriate
some might argue
things.
Non-alcoholic beer is healthier than those things.
We're not doing that.
I will say this. I guess technically, I also don't have an 8-year-old. I would probably not be like, let's introduce them to non-alcoholic beer. So it's weird to me that they started trying it. Apparently, it's because Dax Shepard is a recovering addict, and
seems like a weird way to introduce your kids.
He would have non-alcoholic beer as like, so he could still get the taste because I guess he liked it. And so then the kids happened to taste it. It wasn't like, here, try this. It's just the kids got it and they liked the taste, which again, surprising. And so that it's weird. It's weird to me. But I guess it's not a problem.
I'm against it.
I can see why it actually could be a
I would
positive.
just say this isn't for you. I would say no, this isn't for you.
Yeah.
Because I think if I have what looks like to be a Bud Light or Michelob in my hand, my kid shouldn't be like, let me have a drink of that. I want one of those. Then that's when you say no, but this isn't for you.
You know what happens though with kids when you tell them no, this is grown-up stuff? That makes them want it more.
Yeah, but
if you just give them non-alcoholic beer, maybe it teaches them the beer. Again, if you like the taste, you can get the taste without having the other side of it that can get out of hand.
But if I give a kid Diet Pop, you know what they're gonna want? They're gonna want real pop.
I don't know about that.
They're gonna want real pop. They're gonna be like, I'm sick of this I'm sick of this diet stuff, Daddy. Give me the real thing.
Find more Riot content online. Riot.radiou.com.
You ever heard of unapproachable makeup?
Unapproachable makeup?
Yeah.
Like too much makeup?
This is
going on?
It's a new trend that the women are doing, and it's designed with you in mind, I think.
With me?
Yeah.
You know, the crazy thing is there's nothing that can keep me from approaching.
Not even the unapproachable makeup. Here's the idea. It's that the gals will put on a certain style of makeup before they go out somewhere with the thought process of, this will make me look good, but it'll also make me look intimidating to men. They aren't going to want to come up to me. They're going to want to leave me alone. They say it works like a charm, some of the proponents of this, and it only takes about 10 minutes to get yourself all dolled up in the unapproachable makeup style. And so
This is a wild style. I'm looking at the video now.
Uh-huh.
This is a lot to handle.
It's let's see, how would you describe it? They say dark eyeshadow, tinted bronzers, and bold lip shades. And that's supposed to scare away the likes of you and other single men, and maybe not single men that might be looking for someone to talk to.
It is intimidating. I won't lie. This is intimidating. As I look at these photos, it just changed. Obviously, it changes the whole look of the gal when they do the before and after.
Yeah.
And they do look much more intimidating with that dark eyeshadow going on.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I can't say it would work on me, but that's because I'm afraid of all women. And so I wouldn't approach any of them. But it definitely, I just don't know if it has the effect that they say it works like a charm. To me, I don't know. Maybe it's kind of a thing on the margins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're already getting approached by 25 men and you can get it down to 15 because you don't want to deal with it, maybe that's worth it.
See, for me, I think that this would work on me because this isn't really my style. This isn't the girl that I would approach.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe if they did, this is going to be crazy to say, maybe controversial, I don't know. If they did their makeup differently, I would approach. But since they're doing this whole thing, this isn't my style. This is too much glam for me. This is a lot of glam.
Yeah.
We're looking very glamorous.
Isn't this such a wild life to think about, though? That you have to, as a woman, if you're fairly attractive, you have to dress in a certain way just to keep people from talking to you constantly. I hate when one person talks to me. Forget about having a whole night out where I can't be left alone.
But maybe this is the other side of this is too. How much are you really getting approached? Are you really that hot?
I think you might underestimate. I don't think you have to be that eye-catching for just a minute, especially if you go out to the bar at night or whatever, for just a million men to just keep bothering you.
I think that you'll get approached, and I think too, I asked my friends, some of my gal friends who are cute gals, and I always ask, whenever I see them, how many times have you been approached? How many guys have approached you tonight? And there's always more than one.
Well,
it's always 2 or 3, whatever it is. So I guess it's how much you're willing to take. If you're okay with being approached on one night 3 times, then maybe you don't have to do this. If maybe you're a little bit more irritable, you're not about getting approached, maybe you don't feel like it, you throw on this look here, and it's at least going to scare me off.
And what's better, being approached by a bunch of people you don't want to talk to, or spending a few extra minutes on your makeup and looking maybe a little kookier than normal? But
I like how you call it kookier. That's the word of the break.
A little kookier than normal, but at least you don't have to talk to so many people, and you can still have a nice night out. If you don't,
I guess so. I mean, this I didn't think it would work on me, but after seeing the final result, it would, because yet again, this isn't. If I saw you looking like this, I'd be like, ooh, a little too much for me.
The only thing Isaiah loves more than the riot is himself.
Someone who probably still lives with his mother and hates himself.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
It is The Riot on RadioU. Nikki is joining the show for a brief moment. She took some time out of her morning.
Good morning, everybody. Hudson, Isaiah.
Nikki, good morning.
That's all I have to say.
How's Florida?
Just good morning. That was good. It's good. Just want to say hi. Hope everybody's having a good morning.
Well, Nikki, have we got the story for you? Have you seen Barbie yet?
I have not seen Barbie yet.
Nikki.
I haven't either.
I know, isn't that weird?
Yeah, but you're not a girl, though.
Oh, is that a girl thing now?
So I don't know if I appreciate that's your response.
Nikki, what's next? What are you going to tell me? You haven't watched any Women's World Cup either?
No, actually.
Come on.
It's a big week for women.
Yeah, seriously.
Jeez.
I'm the worst. I haven't seen Oppenheimer thing, so I haven't seen any of them yet.
All right. Well, yeah, I got to catch up on Oppenheimer too. It's a race to see who can get to that. It's a long movie. Nikki, even if you haven't seen Barbie, you should know that in Barbie, Michael Cera's in it, and he plays possibly my favorite character in the movie, Alan, who is the one male in Barbie Land that's not like all the Kens. And that's actually apparently a real Barbie doll that was made, was Alan, and now discontinued.
Yeah,
Are you familiar with all that?
There was drama. I never saw him, but I saw an article about where they said like he was out for like a year or two and just didn't do well, and so he got changed.
Alan didn't do well.
Yeah.
Didn't make the
Not
cut, I
Michael
guess.
Cera. Michael Cera was out. He just.
No, the actual doll itself from whenever it came out.
Yeah. I guess I understand why like the very mediocre looking kind of guy doll didn't do as well as the buff one. But Alan, now after being discontinued and then being such a great character in the movie, now the rare, hard to find Alan dolls are selling for big bucks on eBay. Like they've, unsurprisingly, I guess, skyrocketed in price.
How much are they going for then?
I've got.
I mean, how many could there be?
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's just the scarcity, right?
Yeah, I mean, if they were out for a couple of years, there should be a decent amount, but it can't be that many. I'm seeing here that the top end for an Alan doll right now, you're talking $500.
Holy moly!
Oh,
That's a lot of
I
money.
thought you were going to tell me it could be worse. That could be worse, though. It could be higher.
It could be higher.
I mean, who knows? It's eBay, right? There could be bids skyrocketing. They could keep going. But that's compared to prior to the movie coming out, you were talking at max like $76, though.
Yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
And
jump.
probably not that many people interested. But now the movie's out and they've made a star out of Alan.
Do you think that's
$500.
why? Is that why? Is it because he was so good in the movie?
Yeah, I might say this, that he was the best part of the movie. He maybe probably laughed the most. Actually, in fact, can I say this? That
You can. You totally can.
You're welcome to.
Nikki,
you don't have to ask for
do
permission.
I have permission to say that in the Barbie movie,
thing?
the best characters are the males?
Oh, jeez.
The worst. You know, I don't miss this side of you, Hudson. I don't miss it.
You don't know. You haven't
So
seen the
on
movie.
brand,
You haven't
so
seen
on
the
brand.
movie.
Some people
I
never
don't need
change.
to.
But it is true. No, there's some good like monologues delivered by like the female characters in the movie. But Ryan Gosling as Ken, Michael Cera as Alan, and then Will Ferrell as the Mattel CEO type guy. They're all like they're really great, and Margot Robbie's great too. But they don't make her character quite as fun. I feel so. I don't think it's the acting.
Yeah.
I think it's how they made the movie.
I think people would argue with that, don't you think?
I don't know.
I feel like, I mean, I haven't
think I
seen the
have
movie,
heard-
but it seemed like
I have
Margot
heard
Robbie was a
others
big
say
deal.
it, but I was going to tell you guys, I was so tempted when we saw like how well Barbie did over the weekend. I was almost tempted to ask my mom to send me what Barbies she still has of mine, because I thought, well, what if I could sell them?
True.
At this point,
Yes.
with all Barbie stuff, why not?
I agree.
There is. They actually play up a couple of discontinued Barbies that they make mention of, like the pregnant Barbie and, like I said, Alan, and then
Prego?
there's Midge, and then there's a couple other ones too that escape me. But yeah, they actually make a big deal out of them. So probably any former Barbie that's no longer made is probably a good investment right now.
Yeah, because
Or a
my
good time to sell.
My mom gave me her Barbies. So like I have my mom's Barbie, and I just remember I think there's a Barbie jacuzzi somewhere. So
Oh, yeah.
let's bring in the money.
Any vintage Barbie stuff is never a bad thing to sell, but especially now, this is the time to offload it.
Oh,
for
if you're
sure.
going to do it right now, this week, if you're doing it, you got to do it right now.
I'm too late, I feel. So we'll see.
All right, Nikki, thanks for joining in and talking Barbie with us. It's the riot.
Disinformation, mispronunciations, bad impressions. That's Hudson. This is The Riot on Radio U.
You know, Isaiah, it's the year 2023.
Big year.
And I think we've come far enough here, at least in the United States, that we wouldn't rate women on a scale of 1 to 10.
We would never.
No, it's demeaning.
Have we ever done that on the show?
No, absolutely not.
I feel like we've done that before, haven't we?
I'm sure that I haven't. But
Nikki probably did that.
Yeah, that's right. That sounds like a Nikki thing. But I mean, yeah, of course you wouldn't do that. It's demeaning, right?
That's what they say.
Reductive, objectifying. But I think it's okay to do that to men. So let's figure this out. I have a hypothesis I'm trying to test out here. And so I want to know which man is a perfect 10. I want, start
the most
thinking about
attractive
it.
guys you can think of, essentially.
Yeah. Who can be agreed upon as a perfect 10? As like a standard of like, this is what men, like the ideal man looks like.
Because for women, you can think of like a bunch. I think it's okay to rate women if you rate them a 10, right?
If you rate them all a 10, but then doesn't that just reduce the rating to meaning nothing?
Well, you don't have to rate them all a 10. Just you're only allowed to say the ones that are a 10.
Oh, Okay.
Seems fair.
One way to look at it.
Margot Robbie.
Sure.
She's a 10.
All right. I mean, most people would say that. But see, that's the thing. I don't want to give up my hypothesis, but I do want to see who do people think is a perfect 10 of a man? Let's open up the Riot hotline for this.
877-2-RADIO-U.
Who is a perfect 10 of a man? Text into the show. We'll see who people are saying, and I'll give out my hypothesis coming up here in a few minutes as well. So start texting in your idea of a perfect 10 of a man.
Do you have a list? Do you have your list ready?
No.
I've got 4 picks.
You have 4 off the top of your head.
Off the top of the dome, I've got 4 picks.
I'm
I've
ready to hear
already
this.
gotten.
Perfect 10 of a man. 877-2-RADIO-U.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
Who is a perfect 10 of a man? We're talking looks here. Like, let's not get bogged down into the personality side of it. I think it's about looks, right?
Yeah.
That's what this is about.
That's what we're chit-chatting about.
And because that's what my hypothesis is about. And so here's some of the things people are saying. Regina, Paul Walker, remember him from the Fast and Furious movies?
Of course.
Unfortunately passed away. She says he was very attractive before he passed, and it turned out he was a very giving person, but didn't show it off. And she does say, character goes a long way in attraction for me.
As it should.
Yeah, it should. But you're kind of breaking the game. But he was attractive, though. He was attractive. He was definitely an attractive guy. So that's a possibility of a perfect 10. Philip, this is it's not specific enough. He just says 007.
Oh, we're talking James Bond.
James Bond, but which one?
Oh, that's pretty obvious.
What is it?
Yeah.
Sean Connery?
Daniel Craig.
Actually, you know what? Could any James Bond be a perfect 10? Be considered a perfect 10?
I guess so.
Pierce Brosnan? He might be the most attractive of all Bonds.
Okay.
Yeah. And Jeffrey texted in Chuck Norris. Which is a wild choice. I've also got, but maybe in his heyday. I don't know. I've also got here Stephanie texting in Robert Pattinson. See, this is where I think it starts to get controversial.
What do you mean controversial?
Give yours. Let's give a few more, and then I'll explain.
I'm giving mine based off of what I've heard from women that I know.
Okay.
Right? And so I'd say I have one that's my personal.
I was going to go off of what
I've got one that's my personal favorite, but there's 3 of them I'm going to give that I think are widely accepted perfect 10s. It might not be across the board.
Yeah.
Because that's the same thing for women. You know, there's a lot of people that may say someone's a perfect 10, other one's not. But here they are. Harry Styles.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that are going to agree with that.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay.
Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, yeah. That's a good choice.
That's a good one, huh?
Wasn't he just named Sexiest Man Alive recently, I believe?
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan, it's a peak one.
Uh-huh.
And then this one is a little bit more obscure, I would say.
Okay.
I don't see this one as much, but I do get this a lot from girls that I know, which is Jack Harlow.
Really?
Yes, all the time. Which is weird. It's
That's
a weird
tough one.
It's a hard one for me to understand because I don't feel that way, but a lot of girls I know do. And then my personal one, Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper. He's a good-looking guy.
On. He's a good-looking guy. He just seems cool. He just seems like a cool guy.
Yeah. See, some of the ones that jump to mind, and this is who I consider attractive, not who I think women consider attractive. I don't know. But Idris Elba. Come on.
He's got that old man good look. He's got that matured look.
And Jake Gyllenhaal, we mentioned on the show today. He's up there as well. I guess they're both older. But when I try to think of like a younger guy, like who's considered really attractive right now, that's younger, like Timothée Chalamet. Mm-hmm. But this is where the debate comes in, because I think for guys, typically, if you were to say a woman is a 10, another guy, almost all of them, the worst they would do is be like, yeah, like she's not a 10, but she's attractive, but she's not a 10. But for women or like when you're rating men on a scale of 1 to 10, some people would say this guy's a 10. Timothée Chalamet, for example, but another person might say, no, he's like too much of a pretty boy or something. Like that's not attractive at all. He's a 6. Yeah, right. Like the range would be so much wider. I feel like there's not as much of an agreed upon. Yeah, you want the guy to be fit, but even then, there's like dad bods. I just feel like the standards are way higher for women. You know, like they have this one look they have to go for, where men, it's just not agreed upon.
A little bit of everybody's type, you know.
Yeah.
They just have it's a little more spread out.
It's just not agreed upon across the board is what I was trying to, is what my hypothesis is.
That's your hypothesis?
Yeah.
That a 10 to some woman might not be a 10 to everybody.
One woman's 10 is another man's, one man's trash is another man's treasure for men, is what I'm saying.
Depends on the man.
Yeah. It depends on the judge.
What are we? We're 10s, huh?
Some might say.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot. Radio U.
The new research suggests here that having olive oil every day could be the key.
Like rubbing it on your skin?
No, you got to eat like a spoonful.
Oh.
I mean, you don't have to eat it plain, but you add some olive oil to, there's a lot of things you can do with olive oil, right?
What about canola oil?
No, not the same. That is absolutely not the same. Including olive oil in your regular diet, according to this new research, would it reduce your risk of dying from dementia by 28% if you have just one spoonful every day. This is...
and we're talking peanut oil?
No, we're talking olive oil.
Olive oil.
Olive oil, they just announced at the meeting for the American Society of Nutrition is where they presented these new findings. So, I mean, does dementia frighten you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
forgetting everything you know. Yes, it's scary.
Yeah, I don't think we.
It's like one of the worst things that could happen to you.
Yeah.
I think it's maybe the worst thing that could happen to you.
And I don't think that we're young now. I don't think we pay enough attention to making sure it doesn't happen to us, to taking the steps as when you're in your 20s and 30s, like until you get to 60 or whatever, you're not thinking of dementia.
No, you're not even considering it.
And but when you think about how frightening it actually is, it probably should be.
You wake up every morning and now you know a little bit of coconut oil and you're good.
No, it's olive oil. Why are you doing this? Don't mislead people. We need olive oil included in your diet. It might help you prevent dementia. It might help you stave off dementia later in life. And you'll thank your 20-year-old self when you're your 60-year-old self and you don't have dementia.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Does it?
I mean, I don't know. They always say these wild things.
Yeah.
That you're just like, apparently are supposed to help you.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into all the mumbo jumbo of why and how, but
we just don't question it.
These are real nutritionists and scientists, and they know what I presume they know what they're talking about.
And people put avocado oil like on salads or whatever it is.
Except that that's not the oil that would help them in this way. So you could just swap it out though for olive oil on your salad.
Is that one of the healthier ones?
Yeah, it's the one that we're talking about right now. Is the olive oil.
The olive oil.
Yes. Like from Popeye.
I'm with it. I mean, I know what olive oil is, obviously.
You know,
cook with it.
What do you cook with it?
You can you put it down and it makes things slick. Like if you're making pancakes.
Did I use olive oil?
Yes, you do. I do.
You do not.
I've poured it in.
What kind of pancakes are you making?
You pour it in and you kind of rub it around.
Yeah.
And then it no longer sticks to the pan.
Yeah, but I doubt you're using olive oil for pancakes.
I'm pretty sure I have.
I find that unlikely.
I think you can put any oil in there and it'll make it to where it's not sticky.
Yeah, it does.
I'm not putting it in the mix.
Olive oil has a different taste.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm not putting it in the mix. And there's not a lot of options here at Radio U. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
It's whatever's in the cabinet. If I need a non-stick, there's never butter here. I bring the butter, and so if I don't bring the butter, then olive oil it is. I've also used canola. I've also used the spray.
We're going to have to start stocking olive oil here at Radio U so we can make sure we prevent dementia as the American Society for Nutrition recommends.
I'm with it.
Yeah. I like olive oil.
Hey, you know what? I like it too.
It's time to find more creative ways to use it.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow at RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
And what would you do, Isaiah? Let's say you've got a gal, a girlfriend, maybe even a wife, as is the case here. You guys are taking a trip together. You're taking a flight.
This sounds like fun.
And you're going on a nice little excursion. But to be able to sit together, you got to pony up a few extra bucks on that for that plane ticket to make sure that you guys actually are able to sit next to each other on the plane. How much extra would you pay?
That's a good question. How much extra am I willing to pay to sit with my girlfriend?
Yep.
There's no way I'm paying more than $17.
17 is your limit?
I think 17 is probably tops for me. But that's going to be different for everybody.
Yeah.
That's my budget. I don't know what yours is.
Yeah, it depends on how much you have.
I'm cool sitting solo. I've sat solo on a lot of flights.
Yeah.
I've been solo for a while. So for me, flying solo, middle seat, that's my go-to. Yeah, I'm more comfortable there anyway, because that's how I've been flying as of late.
That's the environment you thrive in.
Exactly. That's what I'm used to at this point. So maybe having my girlfriend next to me, you do get a lot of bonuses with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's worth $17. Do I think it's worth $20? I don't think it is.
That's where you draw the line.
$20 seems a little steep. It's going to be 3 hours. Get a whole vacation with you. What do you want from me?
Yeah, but isn't it worth $20 to make sure she doesn't have to sit next to a stranger? She might get upset.
Oh, she's going to be mad?
She might. There's many reasons why she might get angry. One is that she has to sit next to somebody she doesn't know. Nobody likes doing that, except for you, apparently. Also, she feels like you might not want to spend time with her, perhaps.
I just scheduled a vacation for us.
And if it's important to her, then it feels like you should want to pay more than $20.
That's crazy.
I mean,
talk.
if it was a big price, that'd be one thing. But $20. Here's why I bring this all up is because this is an argument that's being hashed out right now on TikTok, where a woman married, her husband decided on their trip that it wasn't worth $11
to sit.
11. So his limit was lower than yours.
Geez, 11's tough. I mean, that's a bad look.
Paying who knows how many hundreds of dollars for the plane tickets, but don't tack on that extra 11.
11, that's you're shallow.
We gotta scrimp and save everywhere we can, honey.
No.
And so
11, you gotta do that.
You're gonna have to go it alone, and we'll each make our own path here on the plane. And we'll meet back up afterwards. How's that sound?
11's that's too low.
Find me at the baggage claim.
Because I think at $11, there's benefits to it for everybody. Because then you get the lean. Everybody wants the lean on the plane. You get that lean going. That's a good thing. You get a head on the shoulder. Oh, man.
You can watch the same thing together, share an AirPod.
It's worth $11. Mm-hmm. For me, is it worth $20? No. 11, yes. 20, no.
I think
but 11, yes.
20 doesn't feel like a bad limit just because plane tickets are so expensive. 20, I feel like with the amount you're paying, you should actually want to be willing to pay more.
Because I think too, I would just say we can use it on something else when we get there. I would say, you know what? I know exactly how I would do it. I would justify it like this. I would say, you know what? For the 3 hours in the plane, we're going to be miserable on there, whether we're next to each other or not. Mm-hmm. How about we save this $20? And then we spend it on night one, we get dessert. What do you say? Cheesecake? Oh, 3 hours next to each other?
Yeah.
Or cheesecake? I'm taking cheesecake. What do you want from me?
I don't blame you. But I think even as a guy, it's worthwhile spending a few extra bucks, not just to keep your girlfriend or wife happy, but also to make sure you don't have to sit. Like, it's a total gamble. You could get next to a child. You could get who many people don't like sitting next to. You could get next to somebody who stinks. Somebody who doesn't shut up. There's just like Isaiah. There's just so many options that you could get stuck next to, and paying that extra $20 to make sure, or 11 in this case, to make sure that everybody's happy. I don't think it's that bad of an idea.
Hey, 11, I'm in on 11.
Yeah.
20, I'm out.
20 too much.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content, head to riot.radiou.com.